what I've seen also is that when I say that that Philippine society is money-driven and very corrupt, is that Filipinos are social climbers, mata pobre, pwede mong i-bribe. 'Di ba? So, it's connected to money and honor. 'Di ba dito, hindi talaga ka
Hindi
pwede
pwede.
they
Oo,
look
hindi
down on
pwede.
people na mayabang. Hindi ganon, really.
And also, ang problema sa Pilipinas, when you talk about implementation of laws,
Yeah.
compromise siya talaga. I mean, kaya rin ang
Oh
alam mo
God, yes.
'di ba, very compromised. Like for example, may nag-commit ng illegal na bagay like corruption. Ang tagal. Ang daming etche-bureche, alam mo 'yon? Walang napaparusahan.
Of course, yeah.
Diba, sino ba ang puno diyan? Sino ba ang
Yeah.
ulo ng lahat? 'Di ba gano'n lang 'yung kasimple kasi ang issue kasi diyan is command responsibility.
Yes, yeah.
That's really the case. It's the command responsibility, may it be in corruption cases, may it be in the economy, may it be how you respond to the energy crisis in the Philippines. It all boils down to one thing. It's who is on the top. And if on the person on the top hindi maka-solve nito, better for you to, di ba, step down. Pero hindi naman nila gagawin yun. Alam natin, you and I, at karamihan ng mga Pilipino, alam natin hindi. They will stay in power. And problema pa dyan, sis, hindi lang staying in power, even staying longer than necessary.
Beyond, definitely
Yun
that's
yung
the game
problema.
plan. Hindi sila bababa, no?
Yun ang problema, sis. So, saan ka? Ang tanong ko
Problema
sa'yo,
nila
sis,
yun. Dahil magiging problema nila ang Pilipino. Lagot sila, mas marami tayo.
at saka ang ano lang doon, imagine the crisis that we have economic-wise, okay?
Yeah.
Political-wise, foreign policy-wise. If
Yeah.
if the same people will stay in power beyond necessary, meaning beyond 2028, anong klaseng Pilipinas ang kainan? Ano na mangyayari sa Pilipinas, really?
So, Professor Ana, we'll jump right into one of your expertises. Sa dami ng sinabi kong credentials mo, hindi ko nasabi na economist ka din, di ba?
Hopefully, malapit na.
Malapit na. So, gusto ko lang tanungin, no, kasi malayo ito sa pag-iintindi ng ordinary Filipino, ano ang ibig sabihin? Kasi ang ating peso-dollar rate ngayon is the lowest in the history of the country. It's now 61.08. Well, as of 2 days ago, I don't know what it is now. Might be lower, no? Bakit ba tayo natatakot dito? What does it mean in real terms, Ana? Bakit yan ang pamantayan natin?
Actually, malaki ang ibig sabihin kung, like for example, in history, it's 61.70, roughly, if i-round off mo siya actually, and even in the black market, I think it's around 62 already. Pero ang official figure is around 61.7 or 61.5, roughly on that note,
Yeah.
no? Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Kasi pag ibig sabihin, yung ano natin, yung currency natin, yung peso, devaluated siya or weak. Very weak. Ang tanong kasi lagi dyan, kung weak ang peso, mataas ang dollar, mataas ang value ng dollar mo, ang dollar being the international currency, ano yung impact sa economy natin? One thing that you have to remember sa ating mga kababayan, the Philippines is an import-dependent country. Import-dependent tayo. We import a lot of products from the international market.
Ana, question. Why are we like that? Kasi living here in Japan, no? Nakita ko kasi, yung mga tao dito, they're creators Ang sinabi kasi ni yung nagsa-side question lang ako, no, kasi
okay lang.
Yan ang masama sa atin, hindi tayo nagke-create, hindi tayo gumagawa ng sarili nating mga pangangailangan natin. We're not very creative in that sense, 'di ba? So as a result of that, we're so dependent, lagi tayong bumibili sa labas ng mga 'di ba? Like for instance, mga kotse. Wala tayo noon, etc. Okay, Ana, so could you answer that? Why is that?
Before I go on dun sa impact ng weakened peso and a strong dollar against the peso, maganda yung tanong mo, bakit nga ba ang Pilipinas is import dependent on almost everything, especially basic goods. Like for example,
rice.
basic good. agricultural products were very
Yeah.
import dependent. Oil were import dependent on energy related products, almost 100%. Bakit
Yeah.
nga ba? Ang sa akin, okay, fine, yung oil na part or energy, I would say, okay, hindi tayo tulad ng Malaysia na they have oil reserve or oil is one of their industry na i-export nila. Fine. But on the agricultural side, like for example, we are supposed to be an agricultural country. Our economy, ang base niyan is agriculture. Pero since before until now, wala tayong tinatawag na matibay na tinatawag agricultural industry. Even rice we import, even kamatis ini-import, even fish ini-import. Bakit? It's precisely because the government, hindi lang naman itong government nito, even before, siguro since 1986 until now, wala kang makitang really investment on agriculture na kung saan nagkakaroon ka ng tinatawag mong self-sufficiency or food sufficiency. Wala talaga. And also, ang mga palisiya natin, when you talk about not only an agricultural policy, hindi rin siya, alam mo, consistent. Every now and then, nagbabago-bago din. Yes, yeah.
Meron akong isang kwento kasi nung panahon ni PRRD, no, during a cabinet meeting, nagalit si PRRD kasi yung tungkol sa land bank. Bakit ang land bank, sabi niya, ang dami ninyong pera, pero hindi niyo pinapautang sa mga farmers, di ba? Kasi yan ang mandato ninyo, farmers and fisher folk. So bakit hindi niyo ginagawa yan?
Correct.
So it started with PRRD, but it had to be continued.
Correct.
Di ba? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yung sinasabi ko, ang persistent kasi ang problema na, like for example, inumpisahan sa panahon ni PRRD na okay, priority natin yung mga farmers and workers, ibigay mo sa kanila yung lupa, bigyan mo sila ng agricultural inputs, irrigation and all that, and in land bank, you should provide this kind of financing to the farmers and the fisher folks. Pero, kung titignan mo, ang pinapautang ng land bank, hindi naman fisher folks. So, mayayaman. So, mayroon kang problema sa system mo. And it has also something to do with politics na mayroon tayo. Ang politika talaga ng Pilipinas, to be very frank with you, is rotten to the core. That's the basic problem we have in the country. And it impacts the economy in every possible way, and even it impacts kasi pag sinabi mo kasing politika, it basically refers to governance. At talaga natin talaga tayo. So kung titignan mo ang Pilipinas, kung tatanungin mo ako, why is it that we don't have industries? Hindi tayo exporting countries eh. Yun ang problema natin eh. We don't export much. At saka ang ini-export natin ay yung mga halimbawa, I think itong mga chips na kung saan hindi naman tayo lang din ang nag-i-import na we monopolize that. Other countries in ASEAN have the similar export eh. Fruits export natin, hindi na rin na tayo competitive eh. Kasi other ASEAN countries doing it. Pero hindi kasi ako dun eh. Ang issue ko is more about why is it that we cannot produce our own goods for our own consumption, for us to be self-sufficient?
Wait, I'll say something that kasi yung you said on agriculture, di ba? So we don't even have the basic like food security, we don't have it. Kasi what I see here, the difference in the government of Japan is the amazing support that the farmers get from their government.
Correct.
Diba? So, but that didn't happen overnight.
No, it
Talagang,
didn't.
and even you see it in China, diba?
Oh yeah, in China,
there's farmers dito.
Mayayaman
ang farmers dito, pati mga fishermen. So, tapos ngayon naririnig natin sa Department of Agriculture, yan si Lisa Araneta, tsaka yung kapatid niya, mga smuggler, di ba? May mga ganyan naririnig natin and they're not responding to it, di ba? As if they don't owe us any explanations, di ba? So, go ahead, Anna.
Yung smuggling is in agriculture, it's still part of governance. It's part of politics.
Yes.
Kasi corruption yan eh. So, at the end of the day, isa sa mga issue kung bakit halimbawa ang agricultural sector mo is lagging behind the rest of ASEAN and even of Asia, it's not just about policy, it's really all about issue of governance and corruption and issue of policy. Walang consistency. And on the other hand, tignan mo na lang, segue tayo ng konti before we proceed kung how peso, weakened
yes,
peso
the
impact
dollar,
the
yeah.
economy, yeah. Let us say land reform. Yeah, land reform. Saan ba napupunta ang mga lupa talaga? Okay, nagkaroon ka ng tinatawag mong land reform kuno. Tapos bigay mo dun sa farmer. Sino ba ang farmer hindi makaroon ng produce at hindi niya hindi niya magawang productive ang lupa niya kasi what? Kulang siya sa inputs, kulang sa finances, kulang sa capital, kulang sa marketing and all. So anong ginagawa ng mga maliliit na farmers? Binibenta sa mga mayayaman. Anong ginagawa ng mga mayayaman? Pinagtagpi-tagpi yung mga lupa na binenta nila, pinagtayuan nila ng condominiums at negosyo. That's really the case of the Philippines. So, and this is an issue of governance, sister. Hindi siya lang issue of economy.
You know what? It's not even just governance, but I also see like here when I go to the groceries here, no, you're going to buy for instance, an apple or something. You're going to see in the yung sa balot, no, sa packaging nung andun yung mukha ng farmer. Andun
Really?
yung yes, yung pangalan niya, kung saan siya yung it's not all over, but you see it. It's common, 'di ba? So sa madaling salita, yung appreciation for what they're doing and
Yes.
the supply chain is so complete. It's
Complete,
so complete
yeah.
talaga.
Yeah.
Sa
Wala
atin,
tayo nun.
naawa ako talaga kasi yung pamaktol ba, in Bisaya, it's pamaktol, nagpasakit lang sila ng katawan for what, 'di ba? There are no farm to market roads, tapos
No.
bit-bitin nila, babaratin sila, 'di ba? Ano ang laban nila? Doon sa gulay na galing Vietnam, na mura-mura tapos presko, 'di ba? Kawawa talaga farmers natin. So in other words, trabaho ng gobyerno 'yon.
Yes, it's an issue of governance talaga. It's an issue of governance, it's an issue of politics. That's really true. And it's an issue of policy na follow through ng policy at hindi mo binabago-bago yung policy every time there is a change of government. Kasi nga, gusto ayaw mo lang nung previous administration or hindi
It's
mo
the
lang
form
sila
of
gusto.
government also. The system
Yes.
no longer works, 'di ba? We need to change our system.
Actually, yes. I would agree with you. For me, not maybe in this administration for constitutional change.
No.
But definitely, I would agree with you that there's a need for the Philippines to revisit the form of government and the system of the
It
political
no longer
system.
works. No, it no longer works.
At saka, I mean, it's a two-way thing though for me. The political system is not as effective as it should be and efficient. On the other hand, we also need to change the mindset of our kababayan and even ang mga politician na meron talaga tayo. I'm not kidding, sister. Talagang corrupt. Iilan lang ang hindi corrupt. Yun yung malaking problema ng Pilipinas din. Yun ang totoo talaga.
Pero sabihin ko sa iyo, nandiyan pa sa China, andito ako sa Japan. Ang nakikita kong pinakamalaking problema ay ang tao mismo. Kasi yung mga leaders natin, reflection naman natin yan eh. Tapos alam mo mga Pilipino mukhang pera. Syempre hindi ko nilalahat. Tingnan naman natin ngayon, di ba? Ang dali palang bilhin, no? Tsaka ang dami nila, pwede mong bilhin. Vloggers, media, lahat na. Kahit simbahan kasi Flavi, nabibili mo. Di ba lahat nabibili mo? Yung buong kongreso, nabibili mo. Dito gawin mo yon. Hindi uubra yon. Because the Japanese, no, Japan is an honor-driven society. No, so even the ordinary, it really starts with the ordinary citizen. You cannot bribe. They will not cheat. They will not lie. They're very honest. They'll really earn your trust. You know, in my neighborhood, I know my grocers already, etc. I really trust them, and really, it's a society that you build together.
Yes.
Diba? So, masakit man pakinggan at na kasulaso-lasok si Bangag, he is indeed a reflection of who we are as a people. I'm sorry to say that's the bad news.
I would agree. No, I would agree with you.
Thank you.
I would agree.
Right?
Kaya nga sinasabi ko, there is a problem with the political system. Yes, I would agree. But on the other hand, you also have the problem of the kind of mindset Filipino we have as a people, and at the same time the issue of discipline and values. Kasi alam mo, yung values talaga importante. Kung makikita mo ang issue ng corruption sa Pilipinas, sis, hindi lang yan issue ng malalaking politician. Even from the bottom going up, may corruption.
Yes.
Kasi ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas, ang corruption is like a normal thing.
Yes.
It's normalized
It's accepted.
already. Oo.
It's accepted already. Yun ang
Yeah, yun.
nakakatakot na
Oo, na
nawala
parang
na yung
okay na. Oo,
at saka
ganun.
nawala na yung sense of outrage, 'di ba? Na
Mm,
so that
mm.
Benny Abante can go into the slums, sa slum areas driving a very expensive
Car.
motorbike,
Our
pinagyayabang pa niya.
motorbike, oh.
And then the worst part about it is that he's admired. Nobody stones him. Nobody shouts at him. Gawin mo yan sa dito. Naku po, Maria
Ano
Jose.
po?
Hindi
Dito,
talaga.
mahirap.
And then, what I've seen also is that when I say that that Philippine society is money driven and very corrupt, is that Filipinos are social climbers, mata pobre, pwede mong i-bribe. 'Di ba? So, it's connected to money and honor. 'Di ba dito hindi talaga hindi ka
Hindi
pwede
pwede.
they
Oh,
look
hindi
down on
pwede.
people na mayabang. Hindi ganun, really.
And also, ang problema sa Pilipinas, when you talk about implementation of laws,
Yeah.
compromise siya talaga. I mean, kaya rin ang
Oh
alam
God,
mo,
yes.
'di ba, very compromised. Like for example, may nag-commit ng illegal na bagay like corruption. Ang tagal. Ang daming echebureche, alam mo 'yon, walang napaparusahan.
Yeah.
Dito, to be frank with you, in China,
Agad.
I mean, like, kahit nag-retire ka na, kung napatunayan kang nagkaroon talaga ng, halimbawa, corrupt practices nung panahon na nasa posisyon ka, hahabulin ka nila. Kahit na wala ka, kahit ano pang tanda mo, pero alam mo yon, kaya yung mga tao, they respect the law and they obey the law. Sa atin kasi, walang sense.
Ana, I have a story, short story.
Okay, go.
There was a principal, high school principal who was about to retire here in Japan, no? And then bumili siya ng coffee sa isang convenience store. Tapos, to make a long story short, dinaya niya ng a few yens, I think 3 or 4 or 5 yen. Ang liit-liit no? He got the bigger cup instead of the smaller cup kung ano yung binayad niya. And then, because of that, he lost his retirement, his pension. And then here's the thing though. Nobody complained. Everybody said, yeah. Majority said, dapat.
You see?
Dapat ganon.
Well,
Nobody's
no, that's the
surprised
situation.
because you are a high school principal. You're handling children. The values, this is the way they value their children, yung paano natin palakihin ito, 'di ba? And it makes me sad that our children, no, pinapasuot mo ng mga sexy outfits at spaghetti pababa, what the heck? You let them watch It Bulaga, 'di ba? Hello, right?
They're so exposed to this kind of values and mindset and things that are not good for them.
Yeah.
For the kids, it seems like ito yung tama, when in fact hindi yung tama. Actually, yan ang fear ko kasi yung mga anak ko bata pa. So it's also my fear, because they're exposed to the society that we have. So it's actually, to be honest with you, sister, malaki ang problema ng Pilipinas. Problema natin politika, but much more, I think, we have a problem of, yung ano natin, yung values natin, yung sense of honor natin, ang sense of discipline. Number one sa Pilipino talaga na problema is disiplina. Basic yun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all. But what I'm saying is, let's be honest about these things. Kasi pag hindi natin accepted to at hindi tayo honest kung anong problema ng Pilipinas, we cannot change the country. And
Also, sister, no, Marcos, yung dinadaanan natin sa kanya, impyerno. But there are good things that he has given us. Look at us, we're talking about this. It's talagang soul-searching, no, what happened to our country. That we would have the worst of us lead us to hell. Diba? What happened? Diba?
Ang wish ko lang, sana naman, may nagigising na. Kasi yun yung frustration ko. We know what's the problem. We know that we have a bad governance at the moment. We know that the president is not effective. We know na surrounded lahat ang image niya with a lot of questionable corruption allegations. Even his own health is in question. Even there's an allegation of him being a drug addict and all of these things. Pero hindi ko makita yung yung ano alam mo yun, yung passion ng mga Pilipino as a whole to even clamor for a change just because of politics. You know, like for example, the other side of the political ayun, like for example, the Dilawan, you know, itong mga Pinklawan. I don't think they're stupid not to see it.
Yeah.
Just because they hate the Duterte, they cannot, you know, I just cannot accept, like, you hate one politician and so you just, you know, suck up with the current situation that we have. That's crazy. You know, and then you destroy one politician just because you want to be in power and you're trying to orchestrate something na para sila naman ang mailagay sa power in a matter of time. So it's all about power. It's not all about the country. Yun talaga ang malinaw sa Pilipinas right now. Everything is just about contending and trying to have that space na sila ang susunod na uupo. It's because they want power. But I don't believe that they want something to change in the country or they want something substantial para mabago ang bansa at magkaroon ng magandang traction for better Philippines ang itong mga to. It's all about power, it's all about politics na minsan it's very frustrating, sister, na para bang sometimes iniisip ko, ano bang mangyayari sa Pilipinas talaga? Wala akong makitang space for a change na talagang genuine change ba among these players that we have in the country when you talk about politics, really. I really don't have. I mean, right now the VP is under so much pressure. Okay, let her handle it. I think she can handle
Persecution, you mean?
Persecution, as in the political persecution is too much. It's like above heaven, above the sky, you know. But I think she's strong enough to deal with it, and she has the backing naman of many people. So I'm very confident she is okay with, and she can fight it out. But what I'm saying is, outside of it, if you look at the political dynamics in the country, everyone is just focused on politics and power. No one even thinks of what is happening in the country. Look, 61, almost 62 to a 61 or $62 to a peso is an alarming thing.
62 pesos to the dollar.
62. Sabi na natin 62, round off natin. Alarming yan, ha? Why? Kanina sinasabi ko, sis, import dependent ng Pilipinas on almost everything. You have an energy crisis. You need more dollars, you need more peso to import goods. And even to pay your debt, dahil nga malaki ang strong ang dollar against the peso. Ang tanong ko, how do you sustain that?
So you need more pesos to buy a kilo of rice.
Let's say in the international market or in importing a good. Isa lang ang pinag-uusapan natin. Ang ano pa lang yan, rice. How about the oil? How about kerosene? How about diesel? Kasi lahat ngayon mataas ang presyo sa international market dahil nga sa Iran at saka Middle East crisis na yan.
Hindi naman. Kasi dito wala.
Dito sa China, I don't even feel that there is such a thing as a Middle East crisis.
Kasi when the Middle East thing happened, the spike in gas prices here was for just 2 days and then it went back to pre-Middle East crisis and it's been that way.
Dito, wala kang mararamdaman.
So why is it in the Philippines, bakit ganun yung price ng gas? Why? Could you explain to us? Would you know?
Hindi, kasi sa atin, ang Japan naman kasi they have reserve. Ang reserve ng Japan is that buffers them. And also, I think there is a buffer. I think ang ginagawa ng Japan, they buffer the price increase para hindi maramdaman ng mga consumers. So they buffer it. So ibig sabihin, the government is coming in.
Yeah.
Coming in.
But
doing the job. But sa Pilipinas, walang ganun.
Because Marcos stole so much, but he doesn't want to give that money back, di ba?
Wala talaga.
Want to give it to the Filipino people.
At saka walang buffer. Imagine mo, excise tax on oil and energy-related products. Ang suggestion sa kanya is to suspend that until the crisis in the Middle East subside. Anong ginawa niya? Hindi niya sinuspend ito kasi sabi ni Recto, ang sabi ni Recto, mawawala ng malaking revenue ang government kapag inano mo yung excise tax. Sabi ko, saan ba napupunta ang revenue ng government? Nasa corruption yun eh. Imagine mo, 50% of our, first quarter of our budget, ang expenditure natin napunta sa debt servicing. So, ibig sabihin, malaki yung utang natin, plus almost 50% of our expenditure napunta sa debt servicing, malaki yung utang natin. Ang tanong mo, saan napunta yung utang? Na hindi mo nga na kailangan mo pa ng excise tax na hindi masuspend kasi kailangan mo ng revenue. Na samantalang utang ka ng utang to finance your economy. Now, ang tanong, why is it that you cannot even still make your economy stable? Na hindi mafe-feel ng mga mamayang Pilipino, yung halimbawa pagtaas ng oil prices sa market, sa domestic market, because tumaas sa international market. Kung sinasabi mo na, alam mo yon na you have a lot, you have this amount of debt, saan napupunta yon? 'Di ba? And on the other hand, kailangan yung simpleng policy na suspension of excise tax, hindi magawa ni Marcos Jr. kasi daw mawawala ng revenue ang kanyang gobyerno. Okay,
Nasaan napupunta?
so
Saan
ang tanong
napupunta
ko
yung
nga doon,
revenue?
so nasaan nga yung revenue mo when in fact, may issue ka ng food security, still, at then ang oil price increase mo andyan pa rin, mataas ang inflation mo and all. So nasaan yung mga perang yun?
Alam
Kasi
ko na kung saan.
nasaan yun?
Sa impeachment. Doon na
Yun.
pupunta. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Alam ko,
They bribed
marami na ako
itong mga
naririnig.
corrupt like sila Luistro, mga corrupt
Oo.
na yan, si Percy Sendanya. They're bribed. No, and the whole focus of an entire country, of this entire government, is on that fucking impeachment, di ba?
Impeachment, to be frank. Yeah, hindi ko nga rin sabi ko, my God, the country is facing a lot of problem, pero ang buong gobyerno, itong Congress and even the Senate, yung attention nila nandun sa impeachment.
Sis, alam mo,
Sabi ko,
ngayon ko lang ano,
ganito ba talaga ang Pilipinas?
tsaka nagsanib puwersa kasi nung panahon ni CJ Corona, ang nag-impeach sa kanya, 'di ba? Pina-impeach siya ni Pinoy, 'di ba? Dahil sa Hacienda Luisita ruling, yung very principled stand ni CJ Corona. Tapos ang operators niya, si Heidi Mendoza, Ronald Llamas, Risa Ontiveros, Kiko Pangilinan, yung CPP, sila Teddy Casino, lahat 'yan ano. Tapos kaya na yun, ganun na naman ang ginagawa nila. Ganun ang ginagawa nila sa totoong mga lingkod bayan, 'di ba? So, nagsanib puwersa sila, pero ngayon it's worse because nagsanib puwersa ang mga dilaw, mga pink, mga CPP, si Marcos, ito mga bangag, pati mga oligarchy, mga against, so the real enemies of the people. And we're seeing again rotten politics of the dilaw, rotten politics, inuulit nila, di ba?
At saka combine na with the rest of this, like the left, and even the oligarchs.
Yes, most definitely. They're just so smart. They're way smarter than bangag because they're quiet, 'di ba? They're invisible. They try to be invisible, 'di ba? But really they're the ones. They're the ones. Sila yan.
Andyan sila. So, sa akin, parang ganito ba talaga ang Pilipinas? That's a big question at the moment for me. Na parang bang wala na ba tayong pwedeng pag-uusapan? Kasi every time I open my Facebook or I open the like for example yung links to news like Manila Times, Manila Standard, Inquirer, lahat na lang ino-open ko, ABCBN, kahit na mga minsan, lahat ang nakikita ko, sis. Wala nang ibang nakabalandra kundi ang impeachment sa VP.
Because I
Sabi ko,
also
wala
think
bang,
they're
distraction? Dahil hindi,
they're trying to distract. Also, they really have to take Inday out of the running because si Inday lang ang magpapapanagot sa kanila. Wala nang iba. The rest, the others will be arreglo, but it's only Inday. And they know that. They know that itong mga magnanakaw na yan, alam nila, pag si Inday na naging president at magiging president siya, talagang hihima sila ng rehas. At alam nila yan, no? So, alam din ni Bangag yan, nakasama siya doon. No? So, they're doing everything, no? It's an existential thing, no?
Yun, of course, malinaw yan sa atin. Ang ano ko lang doon, parang, aside from the fact that they want Inday out, I think it's also one way of distracting the people from the real problems of the country. Kasi the country is really facing a lot of things. Like for example, ang investment environment mo going down. The mere fact that the peso is higher, the peso is weaker than the dollar, ibig sabihin, that's not really good when you talk about investment. Corruption index mo is higher. Siguro number 3 tayo sa ASEAN when you talk about corruption in terms of rank from top. And so,
but Marcos is not, Bangag is not worried. He said, at least we're number 3, we're not number 1.
Uy,
That's the kind of problem that we're
Hindi,
having.
that's the kind of mentality that he has na para bang, Sir, pwede ba? O, excuse me, Mr. President, number 3 po tayo. Understandable yung number 1 and number 2 because they're still like, ano, kumbaga, new republics pa lang yan eh. They're on the process
Yeah.
of strengthening their politics and their governance. Kasi, like, for example, Cambodia is like, what, 28 years of existence as a republic?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still honing and they're still strengthening their government and their political system. And what about the Philippines? How long? Diba? Parang
I have a
that is
question.
not a comparative.
And what makes it worse, am I correct?
Mm.
Is that this dismal corruption index, no, that shows that we're the top 3 of the worst.
Top 3, top
is
4, I think.
and
yeah.
also the 62 peso dollar rate
Dollar,
compared to
yeah.
dollar peso is directly connected to the corruption of Bongbong Marcos, correct? Yan ang masaklap.
Yes,
No?
I would say yes. And also, ito pa ang worst. Okay, napag-usapan na rin natin yung corruption, ha? Okay. Siya mismo, o namin ni BBM na may corruption, ang flood control. Nagtayo siya ng ICI para daw imbestigahan. Tapos, nagkaroon ng Senate hearing on that. And then, marami pang etchiboreche na ginagawa ang DOJ on this. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, anong resulta talaga? May resulta ba? Isang taon na natin pinag-uusapan yung flood control. Ang pinag-uusapan natin, sister, flood control pa lang. That's DPWH pa lang na agency. Wala pa dyan ang agriculture, ang smuggling mo. Diyos ko, kung pwede ko lang. In a matter of time, I will write something about this smuggling on irrigation and agriculture. Mayroon lang ako tinatapos right now. On the other hand, mayroon kang iba pang mga agency na hindi natatouch when you talk about corruption. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, may resulta ba itong mga to? May napakulong ba sila? Or they're using this issue also to pressure some politician, especially when in relation to the impeachment, if in any case there will be a trial in the Senate. Alam mo yun? Parang, ang dami yung etchebureche sa corruption na sinasabi nyo, pero at the end of the day, wala kayong nagagawa to resolve really the corruption in your own government. Kasi ang Senate walang, ano bang sinabi ni Ping Lacson? Ano ba ang resulta ng kanyang Senate investigation? Wala.
Because Ping also got a maleta. Diba? They're all, in other words, the government has become a criminal syndicate where
Precisely.
they're covering up for each other. More so for the mastermind, Bongbong Marcos. Diba?
Nasabi mo, ito lang, simple lang. Martin Romualdez came out with a video, di ba? And it was, to be frank with you, it's a very savvy, politically savvy video. But if you dissect Martin Romualdez revelation or what you call video whatsoever, iisa lang ang pinupunto ni Martin Romualdez eh. If you're asking me about corruption, Martin Romualdez saying, you have to understand that there's such a thing as implementation. Asan yun? Isa lang din pinupunta niya, it's in the executive level. Sino ba ang nasa executive? Di ba? Sino ba ang head ng executive? Di ba?
But Martin, of course, is a liar.
Of
Because
course,
he was
hindi
also
ko-
part of the execution. He was also, he dipped his hands there also. Okay, so he's also lying. No?
Wala naman, it's not about saying na Martin Romualdez is not part of it. Because definitely everyone in this in the Philippines.
That's so funny. What an understatement. Hindi naman sa innocent siya.
Hindi naman sa innocent siya talaga kasi hindi naman, 'di ba? Pero what I'm saying is even him, kasi nagkakagulo na ata sila. Madali lang may dissect yung sinasabi niya eh. Kung gusto niyo, kumbaga, kung ako guguho, di gumuho na kung sino talaga ang dapat gumuho din.
Also, no,
Ganun
Professor Ana, plunder charges were filed against Martin Romualdez using the testimonies of Gutesa and the 18 soldiers, di ba? But the 18 soldiers in Gutesa named BBM. So if you're just charging Martin and you're not charging Bangag, you're covering up. You're part of the cover up. You're covering up for Bangag, okay? And I don't buy it eh. I really don't buy it. And it's just a huge, because all of them in Congress, they're fighting for their lives. Ito mga magnanakaw, di ba? That's why they're like that with Inday, di ba? They're fighting for their lives, no? kasi when Inday becomes president, lagot sila. But no one is fighting for his life more than Bangag. So he's doing all of this distraction, di ba? He's doing all of this distraction, no?
Oh, pero,
Because kailangan niya umabot ng 2028 kasi he's in danger of being, people are screaming for his head right now, pero ang kapal ng mukha, hindi bumababa, di ba?
hindi talaga siya bababa.
So for
sister.
me, all
Alam
of that
natin
is a
yan.
play. Kasi I'm the kind of person that wants to that likes to learn my lesson, 'di ba? So, and what has this person taught us? What has Marcos, the team of Marcos taught us? Number one, that they steal. Number two, that they lie. They violate laws with impunity. So, they're not I'd be really stupid if I believe all of this, 'di ba? And I don't like to be stupid.
But
'di ba?
what I'm saying is,
Mm.
if you really put it together, itong mga whatever destruction or kahit na mga revelation ng sarili-sarili nila, magkakasama naman yan eh.
Yeah.
Kasama yan sila eh. Isa lang naman yan eh. Di ba? Alam naman natin yun. Pero what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, isa lang, kung may i-blame ka sa lahat ng nangyayari, edi doon ka sa puno.
Of course. Yeah.
Diba? Sino ba ang puno dyan? Sino ba ang ulo ng lahat? Eh, di ba ganun lang yun kasimple? Kasi ang issue kasi dyan is command responsibility.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really the case. It's the command responsibility, may it be in corruption cases, may it be in the economy, may it be how you respond to the energy crisis in the Philippines. It all boils down to one thing. It's who is on the top. And if on the top, the person on the top hindi makasolve nito, better for you to, di ba, step down. Pero hindi naman nila gagawin yun. Alam natin, you and I, at karamihan ng mga Pilipino, alam natin hindi. They will stay in power. And problema pa dyan, sis, hindi lang staying in power, even staying longer than necessary.
Beyond, definitely.
Yun
That's
yung
the game
problema.
plan. Hindi sila bababa, no?
Yun ang problema, sis. So, saan ka? Ang tanong ko
Problema
sa'yo,
nila
sis,
yun. Dahil magiging problema nila ang Pilipino. Lagot sila, mas marami tayo.
at saka, ang ano lang doon, imagine the crisis that we have, economic-wise, okay?
Yeah.
Political-wise, foreign policy-wise. If if the same people will stay in power beyond necessary, meaning beyond 2028, anong klaseng Pilipinas ang kainan? Ano na mangyayari sa Pilipinas, really?